with you making the commitment to not say, I lost my sister, I lost my mom, with you making a commitment to no longer tell people that you're sorry for their loss, we as a collective and you as an individual will begin to truly understand and feel what it feels like to have a deceased loved one graduate and ascend, and them still be fully alive. Them still be so alive that you can see them, that you can feel them, that you can hear them with your actual ears. Why not? Why not? Why wouldn't we want that experience? The only reason why you wouldn't want to feel and see and truly know when your loved ones are around is because you're looking at death like a spooky thing. Shout out to all the scary movies that we act like didn't affect us, but they actually programmed us to see death in a certain way and to disconnect how spiritual this experience is. Death is such a spiritual event. Grief is such a spiritual event. You are going through the changes in your mind and you are taking a stand on things. Like, since my sister passed away, there is so much of me that does not play. There's so much of me that is not, that is like my tolerance level of what I allow people to do to me and how to speak to me and stuff. It's changed over these last 4 months. This is what death is supposed to do for us. There's actually benefits to death. There are actual benefits to grief if you allow for your perspective to see death for what it actually is. This has really taken me down the rabbit hole. I decided to go on Pinterest and see what type of encouraging, inspiring words that they have for people who are grieving. And honestly, all of it just validates more death. I've seen so much advice and so much information that just was validating for, like, oh, you lost someone, they're gone now, you know, it only gets worse from here. And I think that what people and what Pinterest thinks is happening is that this is being honest, this is being real. But honestly, this is just projecting a world of people that are grieving from lack of understanding what death is. So of course you're gonna have this perspective. Of course, you who have been seeing death as if you really lost someone and have been telling yourself the story of how unfair it is and whatever else, and I'm not knocking you, I'm not downing you, but if you're someone who grieves in that way and who really sees it as a loss, then it's no wonder that when someone is dealing with grief, we as a collective really don't know what to say. Most of us are afraid of the dead. Most of us are afraid of the conversation about death. So how are we the same people that are comforting people in this time? So while, yes, we do all grieve differently, when so many of us, and I'd even go as far to say the majority of the world, is grieving with a lack of understanding of death, then yeah, we definitely grieve differently. We gotta keep in mind that back in the day, and it wasn't even that long ago, shit is still in existence. We can't really talk about death. It's a taboo topic. People are afraid to talk about it. When I was a kid, after my cousin told me to talk about it and to make it a normal conversation the morning of her funeral, people would literally tell me, this is negative. I would try to talk about it and they would be like, oh my God, this is a negative comment. This is negative. How could something that is actually life, death is all about life. Is it not? It's all about life. It changes your life. It is life. It's a part of life. Every time someone dies, someone is birthed. Especially within your family. Sometimes they die and come right back around. It is literally life. And people would really tell me, this is negative. I don't want to talk about this. It's negative. But then when it happens, you are experiencing the most unseen, unimaginable, the most deepest trauma, and something that is, again, meant to be there like that. But the extension and the response that we have eventually is not supposed to be. It is not supposed to make you get worse habits and do the opposite of what that deceased loved one would want you to do. Most of us, I'm going to say that most of us, and I can speak even more specifically for my Black American community, we do the opposite of what our deceased loved ones want us to do. Oh, yes, we do. Yes, we do. Because in our experience of a loved one passing away, generally speaking, It's a lot of drama after that. People be going to jail because they didn't put their hands on somebody. People is up at the funeral confronting motherfuckers, going off. Like, it be so much. There is no way you can convince me that a soul who is now in its purest form, who can now see all love and joy, as soon as you die, you feel this joy and this amazing, overwhelming feeling of love, like overwhelming in a good way. And you guys can watch people's NDEs, near-death experiences, people who have actually died and came back to life. You can watch elderly people, children, young people, whatever. You can watch them tell these stories about what it feels like to die. This is what my souls confirm in our sessions. I'm not just making this up. So you cannot convince me that a soul crosses over and goes into this understanding where there's no ego and there's just an immense amount of love and joy, and they want y'all still fighting over custody, still fighting over the kids, fighting over money and stuff, fighting over the insurance claim. Like, come on, y'all. Come on. Yes, we all grieve differently. We don't all grieve the same. But the majority of us are grieving from a lack of understanding of what death is, of the benefits of death, the spiritual experience, the way that we are supposed to be able to pivot from this experience. After someone dies, you gotta know that all that shit that you were afraid of, and that all those lies that you were telling yourself, all those ways that you were procrastinating and waiting on things, you gotta know that it's no time for that now. This is one of the biggest things that death is supposed to teach us. There's no time for that now, because you can see how short life is. You can see how at the blink of an eye, when you least expect it, when you have no idea, when you are not prepared, it can just end. And this is supposed to help you with the experiences that you have with other people. It's supposed to help you to take life for granted less. It's supposed to help you with rationalizing your differences with people. We should have less drama in the world because all of us are experiencing loved ones passing away. And depending on your age sometimes, or just depending on your life, maybe you haven't had too many loved ones pass away. Maybe you've only experienced your grandmother who was pretty, elderly and got to live a full life. But as you get older, as you go further into your 30s and your 40s, some of you guys already experienced this when you were kids. But for those of you who didn't, as you get older, you're going to see the people in your circle, the people around you, disappearing. You're going to see their physical bodies dying. And your understanding of death for your children, for people who you love that are going to also experience it, you want to make sure that you're coming from a place of understanding the truth about death. The calling, the calling on us to stop seeing death as such a negative thing. It's such a huge thing. It's such a big thing. It's such a message that my cousin really wanted me to share that day at her funeral. And I didn't get to because it was too sad. It was exactly what she said. It's set up to make you go downhill, like be in a negative state. And it's not to say that you aren't going to have those feelings, because you are and you're supposed to. That's a really, really good thing. It's a really, really good thing to go into those feelings, because also what comes along with your memory being lost and you feeling kind of spaced out is your intuition is really high. Also, when you're grieving, you have really high intuition. That is because your emotional body is taking over your physical and your mental body. You are literally more in an emotional level. Emotions open up your channel. This is all meant to be. This is all supposed to happen. I love you guys. I hope that this message made sense. If you like this video, please share this video with someone. Share this video with someone who is grieving right now or who just got done grieving. Please. That's really who I care to see this video, so that they understand that their loved one is actually not gone at all. They're actually closer to you than they've ever been. They could not be this close to you before. They couldn't actually be inside of your blood and inside of your cells and your veins. Now they are. Look this stuff up. Look up how many people had a loved one pass away and all of a sudden their features started shifting. I know a girl whose mom passed away. She never had a gap in her mouth. She never had a gap. This girl never had anything close to a gap, but her mom had a huge gap. Fast forward to today, about 3 years after her mom passes, she has a huge gap in her mouth. It is crazy. She looks just like her mom. This happens all the time. Why? Because they are now inside of you. They are not away from you. They are closer than they could have ever been. And they don't have to worry about bills or sickness or heartbreak or any of that. So they are more clear-headed to be able to guide you. And that's what's actually happening. All right. I love you guys. Until next time. Peace out.